Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to create a segmented text field that automatically moves to the next one like the OTP text field you have seen in many apps. Let's take a look at what you will be creating. So you'll be creating this text field box. Then when you key in a value, it will automatically move to the next one until it reaches the last one and the keyboard will dismiss. So what happens is that if you press the delete button, it will move to the back one until it removes the value. If this text field already have a value, let's say you key in 2, it will replace with the new value and the old value will be removed. Because of how we're creating, you can easily convert into an OTP text field with only 4 values instead of 6. Let's get started by creating this OTP text field, and the starter project is provided on the description below. Once you have downloaded the starting project, open out the content view. In the content view, you will see a navigation stack with a title called verified phone, and it contains a text right over here and a button which is created using RUI rounded corner button style, which is a package that I created so that I can reuse the style so that the starting project will look much more cleaner. So once this project is stabilized, I will share it on my YouTube channel. So remember to subscribe if you want to find out more about this SwiftUI package in the future. Then at the bottom is also contain a text right over here. So now the first thing is we want to create this little box which is a text field. So how can we do that? So first let's create a folder called views. Then in this folder we will create a SwiftUI view, and then I will call it as OTP Textfield. So the first thing, let's create this box. So the box we will be using, as I mentioned, text field. If you want it to be secure like those small dot hidden, you can use a secure text field instead. So this will be empty because we don't want any placeholder value. And let's create a state called enter value and create a binding over here. Now we can't see anything, so let's make a background and give it a color of gray. I will put an opacity of 0.1, so it will be a light gray. So what happened is that if you see the size is incorrect, so let's create a frame. We give it a width and height of your choice. I will give it 48 and a height of 48. Now we need some rounded corner. As you can see, it's pretty ugly right now. So let's create a corner radius of 5. Then now if you click on this text field, let's enter a value. You can see it starts from the leading side, which is not what we wanted. So we will do a multi-text alignment of center. So the first value will be in the middle. So now we have created the first text field. We must meet it so that we can create 6 or 8 of these boxes. So how we can do that? We can create a hashtag. Let's copy this. You can see if you want to have 3, you can copy 3 of it. Since copying is a bad practice, we shouldn't use this, but we should use for each to look through and create the boxes that we want. So let's create a for each. So the data that we want is 0 dot dot. Let's say we want to have 6 of it. I will give index which we will require to use it later on. So now you have created 6 of it. If you want 4, you can put it 4. So To make it more flexible, we should let the user, the developer, to decide how much they want. Let's create a number of text field, number of fields. Then we'll use these fields over here, which you are required to declare right over here. As you can see, now there is 6 text fields, so if you want 4, you can change this value to 4. But there is another issue, is that these text fields are using the same value. So how we can do that? So we can change this, instead of using single string, we can change it to an array of string. But how do we declare it? Let's say if we have 6 of it, or maybe 4. So let's create a custom initializer. We should remove this, and we should create array. So the number of repeats is depending on the text, the number of field. Then the element will be just a empty string. Then this, we can't use the value directly. Instead, we have to use the index of. So once it's done, you can see that they can use different value, but there is an issue. So if we key in this value, it will not automatically go to the next one. So how do we do that? So the first thing is, we want to be able to switch from this text view to the next one when the user enter the value. To do that, we have to use something called focus state. So let's create a focus state that is a private. So we'll use something called focus. So it will bind to our focus field, field focus. Then the value will be indexed. If the value is equal to 0, it will know that it belongs to this text fields and it have to focus. So how do it know that this text field is value 0, 1, or 2? We will put in a tag. The first text field will have a tag of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we can use this value to tell the text field that if the value, and if they enter a value, it will focus the next text field. So to do that, we'll use a onChange. So the change is the entered value of the index. So what happened is that we want this text field focus. If it's empty, we will just put it as 0. Then we will pass 1. Okay, so let's try it out. So to try this, we need to run it on a simulator. Now we can't see anything because we have to use it. To use it, let's go to our content view and let's call it and give a value of 6. If you want 4, you can also give it 4. Let's run the project again. So now, if I key the first value, it will go to the next one, and so on and so forth. But for OTP, it should be a value instead of this keyboard. Let's change the keyboard type to number pad. So if you see what happens if I enter this value, you see, this thing will become longer. So what happens is we want to either dismiss the keyboard so that it will let the user key in any more stuff. So what we can do is we can put this into a if index equal number of field minus 1. The field focus will be near, else. So if you see it now, if we key in this, the last value, it will just dismiss the keyboard. So the next thing we want to do is to do this erase button. See, if we erase, we need to erase it one at a time. So it will be very troublesome for the user. And the worst thing is, if we erase, it will go to the next one instead of this value. So how do we do that? So we have to do a check to see if the new value is it empty or not. So if new value is empty. So if they are not empty, we will move to the next one. So if they are not empty, we will go to the next one. But if they are empty, means they already erase the value until it finish. What we want to do is we want to move back. So let's try it. And now let's say if I want to erase this value, it will move back. You see, it's working. But now the value key in like 5, or you can key in more than that. Let's say if we start from here again, or we start from here again, we can key in more value. So how do we limit the number of value, or how do we change to the latest value? Now what we want to do is we want to check if the entered value currently, we want to see the count, is it more than 1? So if it is more than 1, means that the user already entered a value. So what we want to do is we can change the entered value index. So let's say if you key the value, it will update the value now. Sorry. Yeah. So this is sort of something we want. So now user can't key in more than 1 value, but there is an issue. So let's say if the value is in front over here. So let's say if I key in 1, it will be 2, because we always take the synfig, which is the second value, the value at the back. So how do we know if we want to use this first value? So we want to use the prefix of it. So to do that, we can put a on editing. So what we want to do is we want to be able to get the old value of it. So if it is editing, we want to be able to get the old value. Let's create a old value. It will be equal to empty. So this old value will be equal to enter value. So we are able to compare if this value is it the new one or the old one. So we will know when to take the prefix and when to take the suffix. So to do that, we will use let current value equal to array entered value and the index. So now we want to do a comparison. So if current value, the first value equal the, let's say, character or value, because it's a string, but we are sure that it only have 1 value, so we can just convert to a character and it won't crash. Then we will use the suffix, else we will use the prefix. So let's run the project and try it out. So now let's try to key in any value that you want. So now let's say if I want to change the value to 2 and the cursor is over here, it will change to 2. If the cursor is at the back, it will change the value also. So this fixes the issue. So that's all for this project. If you like the content like this, please remember to like and subscribe, and I will share more on this type of video. Thank you very much.